Now, dang. Hold on, do it. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Nah, on online, make sure that we got sound. Hey, if you online, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Are we good? All right, cool. All right, dang. Let me back up. They wouldn't hearing nothing. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we at the top of 46, y'all. I wasn't aware that we didn't have any sound, Salaki, for the technical difficulty. So for those that are just tuning in, where we are in the story is where Jacob sent to go get his father. His father thinks Joseph is dead, right? And so that his father knows that he's alive, Pharaoh has heard all of like what Joseph has gone through has echoed throughout all of Pharaoh's house, to the point to where Pharaoh heard about it and he was moved, and he came to him. He's like, "Look, man, I'm gonna send you with a caravan of my finest chariots. You know what I'm saying? Send you with some livestock to go pick up your old man and the rest of your family, and to bring them into Egypt in fashion, so that they know that, you know what I'm saying, that you are in an elevated position, that they know that you are alive." So this is where we are, right? So we read verse 1. Verse 1 was this go ahead and read verse 1 for me. Okay. Appreciate you, Gerald. Appreciate you. Let me know that everything going. Appreciate you. All right, go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifice unto the God of his father Isaac.
All right. So I had asked the question, what is the significance of Beersheba? Right. And I had him pull since y'all y'all didn't hear nothing that we were saying. So for y'all, so y'all can write it down in y'all precepts book. First and foremost, I had him pull Romans 15:4. Right? What is Romans 15:4? Romans 15:4 is the things that were written aforetime for our learning, for our understanding, to let you know if you do not know your history, you are doomed to repeat it, right? Or if you don't know your history, you don't know the significance of your land and what parts of your land that you know that you can go there to call upon your power, right? So after that, I had him pull Genesis 21:33. In chapter 21, this is where Abram is going back and forth with Abimelech, right? Because Abimelech tried to take Abraham's wife, right? And the Lord told Abimelech, if you touch this woman that don't belong to you, you a dead man, right? So, he gave him land, he gave him wealth, cattle, livestock, you know what I'm saying, for the offense to make good on it, right? So the land that Abimelech gave Abraham, who was Abram at the time, he hadn't gotten the name Abraham yet because he hadn't made the full out covenant with God, right? The Canaanites, okay, the king may have said that, but we ain't say that. That's just like if the mayor of Houston, if Sylvester Turner, tell Captain Yadazak, all right, we gonna give you all the sunny side, right? And we go on the sunny side, and we be like, okay, we you know what I'm saying, this land is ours. And they gonna be like, well, we understand what Sylvester Turner said, but we don't say that you rule this area. So everywhere that Abraham came and moved and put down, to try and, to put his foundation down, and every time he dug a well, the Canaanites would come and steal the well that he dug, right? To the point to where Abimelech came down and he'd be like, man, what's going on with you? And he like, nah, what's going on with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you gave me this land. He was like, I did. You know what I'm saying? But why are your people oppressing me. He was like, well, if you would have came to me and said something, I might have could have did something. You feel me? So he made a covenant with him with these 7 ewe lambs as a witness, right? That this land is mine so that he can be at peace, right? So when he did it, he dug a well and he made a sacrifice unto the Lord right there. Not only he dig a well, he planted a grove, right? And I asked Yahakabad, did he know what a grove was? You know what I'm saying? He's like an orchard, right? An orchard, it is a forest, right? A fruitful forest. It's not a forest full of wooded area with 9 fruit-bearing trees. Nah, it's paradise. You know what I'm saying? Every tree is bearing fruit. You know what I'm saying? You walking through the forest, man, I'm hungry, man. There's some apples, man. There's some grapes right here. Here's some dragon fruit right here. Here's some oranges right here. Here's some pineapples right here. You know what I'm saying? Here's some figs right here. It's just fruit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So this, and then he made a sacrifice unto the Lord for him giving him this fruitful land, right? Then I had him pull Genesis 26 and 32 when Isaac came back to his father's land, and he also made sacrifice unto the Lord, right? So what Jacob is doing, he's leaving to go into a stranger's land. He's leaving his father's land to go into a stranger's land. So before he embarks on this journey, he's going to where his father, his forefather, his grandfather stood, Abraham, and he got on his knees to the Lord and he made a sacrifice for protection, right? You understand? And that's where we are right now in verse 2. Go ahead and read verse 2 for him, and then we'll get off into it.
I don't count. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night.
In the what?
Visions of the night.
All right. So where we were, when the sound came back on, I posed a question, how does the Lord talk to us, right? And Yahakabad said, through visions. I said, is that the only way that the Lord talks to us? And he was like, "Con." So I pulled a couple examples, right? So the first example that I had, we're going to start right here reading it for him. Give me Genesis 15 and 1, and then we'll go back to Genesis 22 and 11.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
All right. So in this example, the Lord came to him in a vision by night to talk to him. Right. This is around the time when Abram at this time, he hadn't became Abraham, when he's leaving his father's house. When he left his father's house, the Lord rode upon him in a dream. And he said, look, I know this is something that you've never done before, but fear not, I am with you. I will be your shield. Right? Okay. Give me the next example, Genesis 22 and 11. All right, when the Lord dealt with Abraham again in 22, it started 10. So this is when Abraham was going up on the mountain to sacrifice his son Isaac, as the Lord instructed him to test his faith. Go ahead.
I don't count. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. And the angel of the Lord came unto him out of heaven.
Called
Unto him out of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad.
All right. So Abraham is not asleep, right? This is physical. You know what I'm saying? Calling upon him like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So we know the Lord comes to you by night, and also the Lord come and speak to you by day, right? Okay. Now give me the next example. This is where we were. Give me Give me Genesis 31 and 11. All right, so this is dealing with Israel, with Jacob.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 31, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream,
In a
saying,
what?
spake unto me in a dream,
Mm-hmm.
saying, Jacob, and I said, here am I. Verse 12. And he said, lift up now thine eyes, and see all that rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight and speckled.
All right. So now this is important. So up until this point, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the Lord will either speak in dreams or visions or physically, right? Now, there was a point in time when that changed. All right. Go to Numbers chapter 12, and you're gonna start at verse 6. Let me go there with you. When you gotta go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision,
Mm-hmm.
and will speak unto him in a dream.
Now, this is important, right? So to let you know what's going on at this point, right? So what's causing the Lord, this is the Lord physically talking to the children of Israel, right? So Miriam and Aaron, right, which is Moses's, brother, right? And Aaron and Miriam's is Aaron's is Aaron's wife, right? So Aaron is like Moses' brother, his best friend. You know what I'm saying? The Lord told him he gonna be your right hand. He gonna be your voice. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Like basically you gonna be like God and he gonna be your voice just like I am to you. Right? So they got amongst themselves in verse 1, where it says, and Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because he was married to an Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard him. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord's like, oh, so y'all think that y'all something, but in actuality, the only reason why y'all are something is because I allowed Moses to allow y'all to be where y'all are. And this is a very valuable lesson. Like a lot of brothers, feel more about themselves than they ought to because of the rank that they have. The rank that you have is only because of what has been given to you, right? And what has been given, guess what? It can be taken. Right? Same thing with some of you sisters. Some of you sisters, you think more of yourself than you should. Oh, because my husband is a captain, or because my husband is a general, or because my husband is a 5,000, my husband is 1,000, so on and so forth, right? But you have to understand that position was given to you, right? And you have to understand that things are given to you, and the same things that can be given to you, the liberties that can be given to you, can be taken from you. Not saying that the Lord is going to make it to where that brother isn't your husband anymore, but you can be humbled publicly. The same way you boast publicly, you can be shamed the same way. And that is what Miriam and Aaron are about to experience, right? So read verse 6 again.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hear me now. It's like, hear my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream.
Right. So, with that being said, they spoke out of turn. The Lord didn't tell them to call the congregation and say, Moses is married to an Ethiopian woman. You know what I'm saying? Moses was married to this woman before he came into the truth. You understand? He fled Egypt. You understand? And he went into Jethro's, land and started working Jethro's land. And he ended up marrying Jethro's daughter. And then one day while Moses was working, the burning bush happened. You know what I'm saying? The Lord told him to take off his sandals because he on hollow ground. You understand? And at that point in time, he called him to be the leader of the nation. You understand? There are brothers that have come into the truth who, before they had knowledge of who they are, they had heathen wives, right? Does that make that brother no more or less than a brother, no more or less than a prophet in the school? No, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And who are you to speak upon this brother, you know what I'm saying, and what he endured before he came into this truth, you understand? And the sin that he had, let's talk about your sin. You understand? When the Lord looks at sin, it is even across the board. You understand? Smoking weed is just the same as you being a homosexual. You understand? You laying with you committing adultery is the same as you being a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? Like you being a liar is the same as being a murderer. You understand? So you have to be careful of how you looking at somebody. You point one finger at someone, two gonna be pointing back at you. That's why Christ always says, before you point out a brother's plank in his eye, first remove the plank out of yours. That's to let you know that you don't forget that you once had a plank in your eye. And the Lord said, if I have a prophet amongst you, will I not reveal the truth unto him in a vision? Keep reading.
Verse 7. My servant Moses is not so.
Mm-hmm.
Who is faithful in all my house.
Now, peep this. He said, the Lord said, now my prophets, I speak to them in visions and in dreams, right? And then he said, Moses is not a prophet. Now, this is going to blow some of y'all mind. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High God said Moses is not a prophet. You understand? Because Moses is near and dear unto the Lord. Keep reading.
Verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
Say that one more time.
With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
You got the mic on. Tap the mic. Is it on? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Go ahead. Say it one more time.
With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Even apparently, and not in dark speech.
So he's saying, not even. He's like, and when I speak to him as a man face to face, not even in parables or dark sayings. I speak to Moses plainly. Moses, do this. Moses, get this. Moses, move the people here. Moses, go talk to Pharaoh. Moses, tell Pharaoh this. If he don't do this, I'm going to kill all the firstborn. He talking to Moses plainly, like a father to a son, because he is near and dear unto him. Keep reading.
And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses.
You understand? So now he's telling them, Moses ain't just a prophet. Now, that's not saying that prophets aren't important. Moses was so important that the Lord dealt with him face to face. So much so, when Moses came down off the mount, every time he came down off the mount, they had to put a veil over his face because his face shined with the glory of God. Now, when he walked down off that mountain, he was shining like the image of God. He was radiated. You understand? Like the radiation was, man, that boy was shining like one of these light bulbs. They couldn't even look in his face. That's how much the Lord loved him and was near and dear unto Moses. You understand? And he's telling Miriam and Aaron, and you gonna talk to my servant and you gonna deal with my servant like this? Keep reading.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. Verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous.
You understand? Like when you talk down on a servant of the Most High God, that first off ain't done no ill will to you, right? And not only not done no ill will to you, but because of him, you have everything that you have. The position that you have, the wealth that you have, the status that you have in the nation, it is all because of what the servant of the Lord gave to you. And then you speak bad unto him. You understand? And like I said, he is not a mere prophet. Right? Now, I'm also saying using this story as an example for a double entendre. Right? And as the story goes, Aaron ends up pleading with Moses to heal his wife, and Moses pleads and begs unto the Lord. And it's crazy how they was just talking bad against Moses, and now they pleading with him. You know what I'm saying? And begging him to have mercy upon the same people that just was talking bad against him. You know what I'm saying? The Lord was like, I mean, should she not be separated for 7 days? Tell you what, kick her out of the camp for 7 days and then bring her back in. She'll be healed in 7 days. So for their trespass against a brother, you understand, who done nothing but showing brotherhood to them, they was kicked out of the nation. She was kicked out of the nation for 7 days because she was unclean because she was leprous. You know what I'm saying? Now, the double entendre, the second part of this story is that the Lord only speaks to prophets after Moses by visions and by dreams. Moses is the last person that the Lord spoke with mouth to mouth, face to face. The Lord doesn't do that anymore. You understand? General Muhammad, when I first came into school, this was something that plagued me. Because the way General Muhammad worded, he said, the Lord doesn't talk to Moses, doesn't talk to anybody like he talked to Moses anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it took a while for me to understand what he was saying. He's saying that the Lord does not talk face to face, mouth to mouth with no children of Israel anymore. If you're a prophet of the Lord speaks to you in the night through visions and through dreams. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, give me to bring that home in the New Testament. Give me I think give me Acts 2:17. Right? right? To bring it home, you know what I'm saying, in the New Testament. Give me Acts 2:17. Let me go there with you.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit unto all flesh,
Mm-hmm.
and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy,
Mm-hmm.
and your young men shall see visions,
Mm-hmm.
and your old men shall dream dreams.
You understand? So this further lets you know what the Lord said in Numbers. What was that? Numbers. In Numbers 12:6. Let me go back there. Oh, what you got in Acts, Yakabad? Let me get back here. Yeah, in Numbers 12:6, when the Lord said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream. You understand? So from Moses on, that is the only way that the Lord speaks to us, in our visions and in our dreams. You can have waking visions, or you can have night visions and have dreams. What you got? You got, okay, no sweat. All right. And then the next one, the next precept that we got is going to be in Job 33. All right, let me go there. Job 33. Let's get here. Job 33 and verse 14. All right, this is the book of Job, chapter 33 and verse 14. For God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceive it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed. All right. So when the Lord speaks to you, right, and this is like the Lord will speak to you once, he'll speak to you twice, but like, you know, you be asking for the Lord to talk to you, but hell, when he come to you at nighttime and he give you a dream and stuff like that, you don't believe the dream. You be like, oh, that was just a dream, or I was just tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be like, Lord, is this brother the right one for me? You know what I'm saying? And then you'll have a dream of this brother chasing you down the alley with a knife, and you wake up like, "Whoo, Lord, whoo, that was a crazy dream, baby. What you want for breakfast?" You know what I'm saying? And you know, I had a crazy dream last night. You know that you was chasing me with a knife, trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll get up, you know what I'm saying? And you be like, well, baby, let's go get some breakfast. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't ask the Lord to tell you if this man that you dating or that you courting is the one for you. You know what I'm saying? Or for you brothers, be like, Lord, I think this sister the one. You know what I'm saying? And you go to sleep. You understand? And you know, you walking through a forest and you think you holding hands with it, you turn around, and this a monster trying to devour you, and you run, you know what I'm saying? And you wake up like, oh my God, man, that was a crazy dream. Man, that just must mean we're gonna have a crazy relationship. Come on, girl. I'm gonna make you my wife tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be asking the Lord for counsel, you be asking the Lord for a sign, but he'll give you a vision and give you a dream. You understand? And you don't believe it. But you be like, well, if the Lord talked to me face to face, I'll believe it then. No, you won't. To show you so much so, Moses sat at the mouth of the Lord dang on near every day. You understand? he was on the mount with the Lord or in the tent with the Lord dang on near every day. And the Lord told him to speak to the rock, you understand, that the children of Israel may have water. Moses didn't do that. He struck the rock. You understand? Because he wanted to seem like he was the one that was giving them water. And because of his disobedience, he didn't make it into the promised land because of that one thing. You understand? Like, when you ask for a sign, or you ask the Lord a question, expect to have a dream or a vision about it. You understand? And when you have that dream and when you have that vision that the Lord gives you, if you don't know what it means, get counsel. You understand? And when you receive the counsel from the men of the Lord, don't try and pass it off then because it's not what you want here. Oh, it was just a dream anyway. You know, what a dream. You know what I'm saying? But that is how the Lord talks to us, through dreams and through visions. All right. Let's get back to Genesis 46. We had 46 and 3.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 3. And he said, I am God.
Well, start at verse 2 and read into verse 3.
Come. This book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 2. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not, fear not to go down into Egypt. For I will there make of thee a great nation.
Now Jacob is now the Lord is now bringing forth the promise that he made to Abraham in Genesis 12 and 2. Go to Genesis 12 and 2 for me. You understand? Because the Lord, when he made a covenant with Abraham, you know what I'm saying, to observe and do certain things, do certain laws and certain commandments to the Lord, that the Lord would be his God. And he made an oath, a blood oath with Abraham, and a promise unto him. Read that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make of thee a great nation.
Start at verse 1.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred.
Mm-hmm. Now, remember that when what the Lord said in Numbers, right? That I speak to my prophets, right, through visions and through dreams, right? So when the Lord is talking to Abram, because he wasn't Abraham at this point, he was Abram, he was in his father's house, he's having a dream, right? And the Lord says this to him. Go ahead, read it one more time.
Now the Lord had said unto Abram,
Mm-hmm.
Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred,
Mm-hmm.
and from thy father's house
Verse 2.
unto a land that I will show thee.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And I will make of thee a great nation.
He will do what?
I will make of thee a great nation,
Mm-hmm.
and will bless thee and make thy name great.
Now, what's so interesting about this is Israel is in the same predicament that his grandfather Abraham was in. Abraham had to leave his father's house in order for the Lord to make him a great nation. And he had to step out on faith. He had to leave everything that he knew behind, right? This is the exact same thing that Israel is doing, leaving Beersheba and going into Egypt. And the Lord is telling him the same thing that he told his grandfather, that he is going to make him a great nation in the land of a stranger. And every time we've gone into a land of a stranger and we grew as a nation, every time we left out, we left with more wealth than when we came in. That's why y'all should be praying for America to fall. Because when America falls, we will rise in wealth. Because not only will we rise in wealth, but the Lord is going to give us our own land back. You understand? That is real wealth. Land and livestock. That is real wealth. Not jewelry and all that stuff. I mean, diamonds, I mean, they're not precious. It's not a precious stone. You know what I'm saying? They come a dime a dozen. The only reason why they're valuable is because the beers in London, they keep all the diamonds in the vault and they control they control the market to make sure the market is not oversaturated. You understand? But now they can't do it because now people are making moissanite diamonds. You know what I'm saying? They making them quick like that. They cheap diamonds that they make in the lab. They cheaper than cubic zirconias. You know what I'm saying? So gold is wealth. Silver is wealth. You understand? But the most valuable thing that you can have is land and livestock. You know, we broke down when Jacob rode upon his brother. He gave his brother $750,000 in livestock as a gift so he wouldn't kill him. You know what I'm saying? $750,000 in livestock. And he wasn't broke. That wasn't all his livestock. He was giving that as a gift. But you look down upon what your ancestors have been doing. You understand? We've been doing agriculture. We've been doing livestock. But we run from it because we want the city life. Now you get put out there in the country, you couldn't survive. You don't know how to track. You don't know how to hunt. You don't know how to put livestock out there to graze. You don't know how to grow food. You don't know how to dig a well. You don't know none of that. Keep reading. Matter of fact, go back to the Genesis. We had 46 and 4.
This book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eye.
You understand? So now this is the Lord making an oath to Joseph. He's making the same oath that he made to his grandfather Abraham. You understand? I need you to go to Egypt. I need you to leave your father's house. And if you do this stepping out on faith, I will make thee a great nation. You understand? And then after that, he's saying, and surely I will bring thee up again. Now, question, is he saying that we not going to go through hard times? What is the promise that he's giving him?
He will bring him up again.
And right before that, at the end of verse 3.
In verse 3, make thee a great nation.
And then what did you say?
Bring him up again.
You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is saying that I'm going to make you a great nation and I'm going to bring you up again. Nowhere in there did that say that you're not going to go through hard times. Nowhere in there does that not say that you're not going to go through difficulty. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the Lord saying that He'll save us from our enemies, right? So as long as you are not dead, the Lord is with you. You understand? You lose your job, guess what? The Lord is still with you. You understand? You get evicted from your apartment, guess what? The Lord is still with you. You understand? Your baby mama leave you and take the kids, guess what? The Lord is still with you. Your husband abandoned you and the kids, guess what? The Lord is still with you. Your family turn their back on you, guess what? The Lord is still with you. You go to jail, guess what? The Lord is still with you. Because remember, I posed the question last class, are you willing to spend 12 to 15 years in prison to know when you come out, you going to be the man? Joseph basically Joseph was Joe Biden and Pharaoh was Barack Obama. He was the man next to the man, and Pharaoh was like, look, I'm gonna go on vacation. Anybody looking for me, hit my signet ring. You handle it. The president has left the building. You the president right now. Until these 14 years is over, you in charge. You know what I'm saying? That's where Joseph was. Are you willing to go through hell for 12 to 15 years to be elevated to glory? Are you willing to be lied on, cheated on? Remember, Joseph was accused of rape and thrown in prison, falsely accused. He was holding down his cellies, and he told his cellies, hey, man, when you get out, look out for your boy, man. Help me fight this case. When you get up there and you working in Pharaoh's house, man, hey, put a word in there so I can get exonerated, bro. Soon as he got out, he forgot about him. Are you willing to go through your family abandoning you? Are you willing to be falsely accused of charges and lose everything? Are you willing to have people that you look out for turn their back on you for 12 to 15 years of your life? We're just talking about on a minimal scale. To come out to be risen up to glory. You got to be willing to go through hell, man. Because when we go into Egypt, yeah, we good now. But when Joseph died and there's no child of Israel in the court of Pharaoh, they forget about Joseph. You know what I'm saying? They forget about what Joseph did. And now they just looking at all of these people that they need to subjugate, and if they don't, they might rise up and overtake Egypt. And they put them through hell to the point to where the Lord got to raise up Moses. Well, before the Lord rose up Moses, Moses had to go through his own hell. You understand? Moses ended up murdering somebody protecting his brother, and then the next day that brother that he protected snitched on him to make him flee Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So he left the lap of luxury, went into a stranger's land that wasn't his own for the Lord to speak to him, for the Lord to rise him up to be a priest and a man of the Lord. He had to leave his family, all of his friends, all of his wealth. He had to leave everything behind to serve the Lord. Will you do the same? Are you willing to go through the same? That is what the Lord is telling Israel to do, is telling Jacob to do, to leave his father's house in Beersheba and go into Egypt, and he's going to make them a great nation, and he will gather them again. But the key thing that I need you to know, nowhere in this point did he say that they going to be good the entire time. You got to remember the Lord is a man of war. He likes to see you battle it out to see what you're made of. Keep reading. Verse 6.
Verse 6. This is the book of Genesis chapter 46, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan,
Mm-hmm.
and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. His sons, his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons, his daughters, and all his seed brought with him. Brought he with him into Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons.
All right. So from verse 8 to 25 is when he's talking about all of the sons of each son of Israel, the daughters, you understand, and the children that he had with each wife. All right. We're gonna drop down to verse 25. I'm sorry, verse 26.
Okay. This book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons, wives, all the souls were were threescore and 6.
You understand? So all the people in his caravan, you know what I'm saying? We talking about just his house, just his family. We ain't talking about the servants, right? We ain't talking about the livestock. We just talking about his family was 36, right? Now in Egypt, you got Joseph, that's 37, his wife, that's 38, and then his two boys, Ephraim and Manasseh, 39, that's 40. So at this point, Jacob's family is 40 people. That's a big family, bro. Just him, his sons, and his sons' sons and sons' daughters. And that's not including all of their wives. He's just talking about the fruit of the loins. It's 40 people, not including the servants, you know what I'm saying? Not including the livestock on this caravan. You know what I'm saying? Imagine 40 slabs coming down the street. That's a huge caravan. You know what I'm saying? Doing swinging and banging with them elbows poking out, trunks waving. You see 40 cars coming down the street, 40 blacked out anything, you could be like, who the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? You see 40 blacked out Denali's, black and silver chromed out, everything matching. You could be like, man, what's going on? Where they going? What's going on? Who in town? That's a caravan, all right? Keep reading. Verse 27.
Okay. Verse 27. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls, all the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were threescore and 10.
Right? So that's 40. All right. Verse 28.
Verse 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into the land of Goshen. Verse 29. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel, his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck.
All right. So I want to pause right here to talk about something Very, 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 very important. When you lose anything or you have to sacrifice anything for the Lord, I know it hurts. I know it'll be a pain like no other, right? To have your mother or your father turn their back on you, or to call you crazy, or to shun you. Your brother and your sisters, your best friends, you know what I'm saying? People that you love, that you went out of your way for. You know what I'm saying? You lose your job because of your faith. You understand? You get shunned out of organizations because of your faith. You lose money because of your faith. Your savings get squandered because you go 3 to 6 months without a job because you refuse to break the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. I'm here to tell you the Lord sees everything and forgets nothing. And for those that sacrifice and put their life on the line, the Lord has something special for you, Ak. Something special for you, Aqua. Give me, matter of fact, give me let me get a couple of precepts. Give me Job 42 and 10. Give me Job 42 and 10. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go there with you. Now, if anybody knows the story of Job, this is after Job has lost everything. He lost his children, his livestock, you understand, and his health, his wife. Hell, he lost all the wealth of his house in a single day. It's like as one servant coming in one direction telling him bad news, another servant coming in from the opposite direction telling him bad news, and another one coming from another direction. You know what I'm saying? It was so bad that his wife told him to just curse God and die. To his partners was looking at him crazy, like, bro, you had to sin, bro. You had to have done, you had to have transgressed the Lord our God. You understand? And the Lord had to not only step to his friends, but then he had to step to Job. You know what I'm saying? Because Job had murmurings in his mouth. He's like, I wish to speak to the Lord face to face. Well, the Lord showed up and he told him to gird your loins like a man. Since you complaining to me, go ahead and gird your loins up like a man. He was talking to him. He's like, can you count the scales of a Levite? Do you know do you know where the rain bank is? You know what I'm saying? Do you know where the sun is held and the moon is let go at? You know what I'm saying? Basically, he's telling him, you are a man. And you are my man, whom I created. You are a vessel that I have chosen of honor. And who are you to tell me what I can do with what I've created? When he goes through this whole monologue with, well, it ain't a monologue, it's a dialogue. You know what I'm saying? When he goes through this whole dialogue with Job, basically is letting him know, who are you to tell me what to do with what I've created? I know everything that you've lost. I know what you've endured. I know the ridicule that you've had to endure, the pain that you've had to suffer with your health, the embarrassment, the humiliation. You understand? But one thing you got to understand is that we not on the same level. Read. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Job, chapter 33, verse 10. Behold, he findeth occasions against
No, Job 42 and 10.
this book of Job, chapter 42, verse 10. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job
Mm-hmm.
when he prayed for his friends.
Hold on. Say that again.
And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends.
When he prayed for himself.
When he prayed for his friends.
You know what I'm saying? So the Lord didn't turn his captivity, like the punishment that he was going through with the wager that him and Satan had, until he prayed for his. Job then lost his wealth, his health, his wife, and his family. And even with his friends basically convicting him and accusing him of his transgression, he still found strength in himself to pray for them and pray for their lack of faith and disbelief in him. And because of that compassion that he had, even in his condition, the Lord turned his punishment from Job. That's a lesson that you need to have. Even when you don't have nothing, the Lord is still there. And the Lord is watching you. Because remember, last class, I pulled Isaiah 48, 9 and 10. You understand? He said that he will not give his glory unto another. And he will find thee not like silver, but in the furnace of affliction, which is hard times in hell. It's the only way he gonna be able to determine if you are worthy of what he is going to give you. If you will be a good and just ruler, and a good and just ruler, when things are down and out, he still has compassion for people. When his back is against the wall, he still have love for his brothers. Keep reading. You can start at 10. You can start it all over again. Go ahead.
Okay. This is the book of Job, chapter 42, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord turned the captivity of Job for his friend.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
He gave him how much?
Twice as much as he had before.
Keep reading.
Verse 11. Then came there unto him all his brethren,
Mm-hmm.
and all his sisters, and all they that had been of his acquaintance before,
Mm-hmm.
and did eat bread with him in his house.
Because remember, he lost all his friends. All his family turned his back on him. They thought he was down for the count. But the Lord was still with him. Everything that you lose, the Lord will give back, even then some to you. Even if it ain't with the same people. You lost friends, guess what? The Lord will give you more. You lost family, guess what? The Lord will give you more. You lost your kids, guess what? The Lord will give you more. Keep reading.
And they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord had brought unto him. Every man also gave him a piece of money.
Say what?
Every man also gave him a piece of money.
You know what I'm saying? Now everybody giving him offerings. Keep reading.
And everyone an earring of gold.
So they giving him money and they giving him gold. Keep reading.
Verse 12. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
Say that one more time.
He blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
I got a question. What if in your story your story was written and the prophecy was you wasn't gonna ball until you was 55. So from age 1 to 54, you po. And it wasn't written until you turned 55 that you was gonna ball and be on top of the world. Could you serve the Lord and go through hard times in hell for 54 years? To be ascended to glory from 55 until you leave this earth. Let's say you from 55 to 85. Because that's if you a man and you live to 85 years old, I mean you done took care of yourself. You done lived a good life. To be a man and live to 85, that's a rarity. Most men, especially black men, are kicking the bucket 65, 70. But from 55 to 85, you balling out. You living on top of the world, Doc. You want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even during this time, you 55 years old, you bust out 5 kids at 55. You know what I'm saying? You thinking that you wasn't gonna have no kids, but you 55 years old and you having your first child. Then the next year you have another child. Then the third year you have twins. You know what I'm saying? And then for the next 30 years, you raising your family and they want for nothing. Could you go through hell for 54 years? For your last 30 to have everything that you ever desired and wanted for? Could you do it? Could you serve God in hell for 54 years? Because right here it said that the Lord blessed the latter of Job's life more than the beginning. Job was old, man. Like he wouldn't know green ear corn, if you catch what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He was towards the harvest end of his life when everything was taken from him. Keep reading.
14,000 sheep.
Brother, hold on. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. When it comes to livestock, that's my thing. How much does a lamb, you said sheep. How much does a sheep cost in Texas? We just say in Texas. Let me look. So average price for sheep is $280. And how many sheep did he get?
14,000.
Okay, let's do the math. 14,000 times $280. That's $3,920. $3,920 in sheep. So he really balling, because to have that many sheep, guess what you got to do? You got to feed them. You know how much feed costs for 14,000 sheep? It's a lot of money. Let me put that in perspective for y'all that got dogs, right? A huge bag, big bags of Purina dog chow. You understand? Right now, they $37.99. You feel me? That'll probably feed 2 dogs for about a month. You know what I'm saying? That depends on how much you feed them. Shoot, they might go through that in 2-3 weeks. Don't have no King Corsos. Better yet, don't mess around and be feeding them what they're supposed to be fed, real food. They eat just as much, if not more, than humans. Imagine if you got 14,000 King Corsos. You know what your food bill gonna be a month out? You know what your water bill gonna be a month? Stupid. But in order to have that, you gotta have wealth, right? So he gave him 14,000 sheep. That's $3.9 million in today's value. I just looked up the numbers and did the math. Keep reading.
And 6,000 camels.
In 6,000 what?
Camels.
Oh Lord, you know my camels, man. Okay, I'm gonna do the. I know it depends on if they got one hump or two. I remember that. And see how much does a camel cost? Purchasing range of a camel is as low as 5,000 to 20,000, depending on breeding, or if they got one hump or two. That's what it say. All right. So 5 and 20,000. Let's do the median. We'll say 13,000. How many camels?
6,000.
So you got 6,000 camels times that times 13,000. That's 78 million, huh? So it's 78 million plus 3.9. Let me just go 17 plus 3.9. No, that's not right. 6,000 times 13,000. 78. So that's 78, 79, 80. So that's 80. So we'll just round up and say 81. He got 81 million right now. What else he gave him?
And 1,000 yoked oxen.
And 1,000 oxen? Oh Lord. Let's see how much does a cow cost? Anywhere between 900 and five. So we're gonna say anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000. We're gonna say 3,000. How many he gave him?
1,000 yoked oxen.
That's 3 million. Is that all the livestock he gave? He gave him some more livestock?
Okay. And 1,000 she-asses.
Okay, so that's a donkey. So right now, so just keep the math. So we got 84,000 right now, right? Okay. How much does a donkey cost? Anywhere from $200 to $3,000. So I'll say 1,500. You know what I'm saying? He gave him how many?
1,000, sir.
That's $1.5 million in asses. You know what I'm saying? That's a flex right there. Well, I got 1.5 in ass, boy. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So right now, the Lord then gave him off the cuff, $85.5 million. Was that all the livestock?
Count.
All right, and what else he give him after that?
Verse 13. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. Okay,
so he gave him $85 million worth of livestock. Okay, that's how much the livestock is worth. But remember, he got to have more than that because he got to feed them all. You understand? So the Lord made him exceedingly wealthy, and he gave him 7 sons and daughters. You understand? He got all his land back. He got even more land. You got to have even more land for all that god doggone livestock. Right, that's a lot of livestock. You got to have stables, brother. You understand? And then he has enough to give inheritance to his sons and daughters. He has so much wealth. Just read it. Read it. He gonna tell you.
He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. Verse 14.
You can skip the names. Drop down to 15.
Okay. And verse 15. And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job.
The brother was so blessed, the Lord gave him fine daughters. You know what I'm saying? They was fine. And not only did he give them daughters, they was bad, brother. He said, no women in the land was as fine as Job's daughters. Keep reading.
And their father gave them inheritance among their brothers.
He did what?
Gave them inheritance among their brothers.
He had so much wealth, because normally the inheritance is just given to the sons. You understand? He had so much wealth, he had to get to where his daughters were exceedingly wealthy. Even if they got married, that's still their lot that they can give to their kids. That's how wealthy the Lord made him. That he had to go through hell to get it. You understand? Give me another precept. Give me Matthew 19 and 28. Go there with you.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And YAHANNA said unto them, verily, I say unto you, that which ye have followed in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Verse 29.
Verse 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or land, for my name's sake.
For whose name's sake?
For my name's sake.
For whose name's sake?
For my name's sake. Shall receive an hundredfold. 100-fold.
2.
And 100-fold.
3.
And 100-fold.
50.
And 100-fold. And shall inherit everlasting life.
Keep reading.
Verse 30. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
If you've been taking L's your entire life, guess what? It's okay. Your life not over. If all of your friends is traveling, they got houses, they got families, you know what I'm saying? They, doing all their gender reveals and all of this stuff. Guess what? Your life not over. Keep living. You know what I'm saying? You lose a job that you was making $80,000 a year and you gotta go work at UPS. Guess what? It's okay. Your life not over. Just because you was here and dropped down to here, it don't mean that you won't get to here, or if not even further than that again. Keep living. Because the first, when you start off a race, I don't know if you ever ran the 400, right? But when you in that one lane You understand? It may seem like you on the tail end of the race, and the person that's in the 10 lane is out there ahead of everybody. You know what I'm saying? I said that backwards. The 1 lane is ahead of everybody. The 10 lane is the furthest back. You know what I'm saying? When you start that 400, you know what I'm saying? When y'all start off like this. You know what I'm saying? But as you keep running, you know what I'm saying? It turns. But you gotta run your race. You understand? Just because when they start off the race, they ahead of everybody, you just keep running. Do what your coach told you. Sprint the curves, coast the straightaway. Sprint the curve, and when you get to that last straightaway, you give it all you got. You just keep running. And before you know it, you didn't caught 9. You didn't caught 8. You didn't caught 7. You didn't caught 5. And then when you get around that last turn, you realize you been past 1. And when you start looking to the left and to the right, it's your race. Ain't nobody next to you. But you got to run your race. Just because you start off in the end lane don't mean that you're going to end up last place. Because Christ said that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Because some people take for granted the position that they born in life. How many people you know were born into good families and in prison right now? Or out here in bad luck because they fell in love with the streets and their parents didn't raise them that way. Their parents didn't bring them around that. They started off in first place, but now they in last. You got to run your race. That's what Joseph did. He ran his race. You understand? In order for him to be first, he had to lose everything. He had to be in hell for 12 to 15 years to ascend to glory. Can you be in glory, lose glory to get even more glory? Can you do that? Because some of y'all in the position, you think that's the end all be all, but it ain't. Sometimes the Lord got to break you down to build you up. He got to put you through something so when you get what you get, you don't squander it. You appreciate it. Right? I got 2 more scriptures and we're going to get up out of here. Give me Matthew 6 and 23. Yeah, give me Matthew 6 and 23. And then we're going to read the rest of it, and then we're going to be done.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
That's 6 and 23. Read it one more time. That ain't what I wanted, but read that one more time.
But if thine eye be evil,
mm-hmm.
thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
How great is what?
Is that darkness?
You understand? So it's all about your perspective. If your perspective is light, guess what? You're going to get light. If your perspective is darkness, guess what? You're going to get darkness. If what you're getting is to deceive and to destroy, guess what? You will be deceived and be destroyed. If what you're getting is to help and to build, guess what? You will be helped and people will build you. Now drop down to 33. What I wanted is in 33.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God
Mm-hmm.
and his righteousness,
Mm-hmm.
and all these things shall be added unto you.
Did it say all these things will be added to you and then seek? What did it say?
But seek ye first the kingdom of God
Mm-hmm.
and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
So you're gonna experience loss. You're gonna be persecuted. You're gonna be ostracized. You're gonna be abandoned. You understand? You're gonna take major losses. You're gonna take setbacks. You understand? But those losses aren't losses, they're lessons for you to take with you on your journey so the Lord can ascend you to glory. But if you never learn the lesson, guess what? You're going to continue taking losses. It's not a loss if you learn from it. Because when you learn from it, you can see the pattern. That's the whole point, to break the pattern. All right? Now let's finish reading the rest of the chapter. We only got a couple of verses. 31. 46 and 31.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show for Pharaoh and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan,
Mm-hmm.
are come unto me. Verse 32. And the men are shepherds,
Mm-hmm.
for their trade hath been to feed cattle,
Mm-hmm.
and they have brought their flocks and their herds,
Mm-hmm.
and all that they have.
Verse 33.
Verse 33. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, what is your occupation?
What is your what?
What is your occupation?
What is your what?
What is your occupation?
This is about to be so heavy what I'm about to drop on you. Keep reading.
Verse 34. That ye shall say, the servants' trade have been about cattle from our youth even unto now.
Their occupation has been what?
Unto cattle. From our youth even unto now.
Guess what? We've been cowboys. We've been cowboys since antiquity. Let that sink in. We've been cowboys and farmers since the beginning, and you've been running from your culture. You've been running from shoeing horses. You've been running from cleaning stables. You've been running from the trail rides. You know what I'm saying? You've been running from the country. But guess what? That is your occupation. And as we just read about Job, Job had $85 million in livestock. Just because brother, if you got livestock, you're not poor. Get that through your head. That is where the most wealth is. It is in livestock. Do you know that they have stallion breeds that are worth $1 million? One horse, because of his pedigree and his bloodline, is worth $1 million. Imagine if you had 14,000 of them. We've been cowboys and cowgirls from the beginning, and we've been running from our heritage. That is the coldest thing that I have read in my 8 years of being in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Every Black, Hispanic, and Native American, guess what? We are what? Cowboys. Every time I think of my Mexican brethren, I see the matadors. You know what I'm saying? When I went down to where did I go? It wasn't Cancun, it wasn't Tulum. Oh, good night. I can't even. Cabo. When I went to Cabo, right? And when I went horse riding, they tell you the history of the cowboys, right? And they say it's two ways in the entire world to tie knots for what's the not the bit, but what's the part that hold the bit for the horse? The reins. There's 2 ways in the entire world to tie reins for a horse. And guess where those 2 styles come from? The Black cowboy and Hispanic cowboy. In the entire world, it's only 2 ways to tie and set up reins on a horse. And when I was in Mexico, they told me this. It's only 2 ways, the way Black cowboys tied and the way we tied. That the entire world ties the reins for their horse. That's your heritage, man. And we've been running from it. Everything we do, the world does. Everything, all the way down to how we raise and ride horses. They wasn't wearing chaps. We invented chaps. Because we fly like that. And we had to put our culture on it, the fringes. Because that is our occupation from our youth. But we gotten away from it. We need to get back to it, especially in this day and age. With that, I'm going to say Amajim, which means to stand. Sar, which means to turn. We're going to face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kowa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawap Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawap Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabia Ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashaya Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha Allah, Wahata Para, La Awalamium, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Sar, turn the face to front. Gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters. Been a visual. Body Shabbat. Baji. Ra. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Brakatah. Yadabata. Sar. Turn the face to sister. Been a visual. Body Shabbat. Baji. Ra. Yahweh Shemar Thah Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Yadabata. Dismiss.